Okay, the next thing I'm going to cover is FADC, or Focus Attack Dash Cancel. Now these are regular focus attacks, but you can actually use 2 of your meter to cancel a special move. So right now I'm going to use Ryu's Shoryuken, and I'm going to FADC it. So you see how I can actually pull it down into a focus attack. Now the dash cancel is actually where you jump back, so you actually break out of the focus attack and then you're good to go. You can use this to like FADC Ultra on Ryu, and there's a lot of really good uses for this move. So you just do that, you dash backwards, and then you don't actually follow the whole Shoryuken through, whereas a regular Shoryuken has you go all the way up and is very unsafe. So you can use 2 meters to make unsafe moves very safe. Alright, the next thing we're going to cover is zoning and footsies. Now that basically refers to when you're playing the game at about mid-range from each other and you're trying to outguess your opponent, outpoke your opponent, and hit them. Poke stands for throwing out an attack and trying to poke them. If Dan swings while my fist is out and the active frames are there, which is the part that hits, then I've gotten a poke on him and I'll land a counter hit. Counter hits deal more damage as well, so that kind of gets important. So zoning is about trying to play the character and put them in a place that's comfortable for you. For Balrog, you want to be standing, where you can actually land your hits, where Dan can't. So certain characters have more range than others, and they prefer to play in a different zone. So you play footsies and zoning, and try and put yourself in the ideal situation so you can win the round and win the match. Alright, next we're going to cover combos, B&B combos, which is bread and butter combos, and hit confirms. Basically, a combo is a string of attacks that's guaranteed to land as long as you can punch them out in proper timing. What that means is that you can't just smash the button and hope for a combo to come out. You actually have to tap them in a proper order, and it takes a lot of practice to get good at. And I'm not kidding, like, you will spend hours and hours and hours to perfect your combos. Now, a bread and butter combo is the standard combo for every character. Most characters have what is considered a B&B combo. For Balrog, what we're going to do is his crouching jab, crouching light kick, jabs are light punches as well, into a headbutt. And what I'm going to use as a hit confirm so that I know this combo is going to land is I'm going to jump and use his jumping heavy kick. And that tells me that Dan is kind of opened up and he's ready for my combo. So the way you do that is you jump in, and there you go. You get to follow that whole thing into a combo. Now if I just was swinging at Dan and not doing proper combos, he's going to block me just like that. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is a lot of frame data. Now this next part gets a little bit more advanced, so I'm just going to cover them very briefly, and you can look up more information if you're interested, but there's not enough time to cover everything. I could literally make videos that go on for hours about all these things. So I've got my handy piece of paper here to make sure I don't forget anything. Startup frames are when you're doing an attack, before the attack is active, you have startup frames. So basically, as Balrog's winding up this heavy punch, you actually can knock him out of it if you were swinging first, because those startup frames don't have any damage. That leads you into active frames. Active frames are when the actual punch connects and deals damage. So multiple attacks will actually have more frames where they can be active. So let's say that your fist is out there for 3 or 4 frames, it will deal damage. The game runs at 60 FPS and your fist is out there for 4 frames. You can do the math and figure out exactly how long exactly that attack is going to deal damage. After your attack or active frames, you're going to hit to the recovery stage, and the recovery stage means that you're actually pulling your fist back, which means it's no longer active and you can be attacked again. Frame advantage means that after you either hit or block, you gain an advantage. So if I'm swinging at Dan and then he starts blocking and I keep hammering up these quick jabs and he tries to throw a heavy punch, my quick jabs are going to have an advantage because on block I'm still going to have enough advantage that I can do something, swing again, or go into a defensive stance myself and block. Block stun is what you get put into when you block. Block stun means that as I'm hitting you and you start blocking, you're stunned. You can't immediately react because for a certain amount of frames, you're put into a stun animation. That gets important because for a lot of stuff, you can kind of get yourself to safety while your opponent's in block stun, or you can take advantage of it and do what's called a tick throw. A tick throw means that you tick them into a block, then you jump forward and go for the throw. After that, what do we got here? Frame traps and meaties. This is often used for the wake-up game. As they're getting up, you throw at an attack that has a lot of active frames. Balrog's close-standing heavy kick, for example, this elbow here, has a lot of active frames. So if I do that while they're getting up and they try and throw me, and my active frame of the elbow is on frame 0, and their throw takes 3 frames of startup, that means that my elbow is going to hit them and counter their throw. This gets a little bit technical, but as I said, you can look into it more if you're looking for more information. Okay, the next thing I'm going to cover, and this is a very in-depth topic I'm going to cover very quickly, is option selects. Option select basically means that you can throw out multiple inputs and get the desired result. So that means if someone's going to, say, be a teleport character and teleport away, you can actually input a spin kick as Ryu lands on his attack. There's a lot of different option selects in the game, and every character has different versions, so I just thought I'd show you a really simple and easy one to do, and it's just, I'll show you with the input. Basically with Ryu, you're going to do a grab, which is your punch and kick buttons, and you're going to do a medium punch. And what this does is on wake up, you would actually, the medium punch will come out, but if Dan were to try and grab me, I would actually tech the grab and the medium punch would not come out. The option select basically means that there are 2 options for your input to be interpreted as, and the game picks the more desirable one for you. There's a ton of these, so if you're really interested in getting really good at Street Fighter, this is something you're going to hit and you're going to want to look up. But just be aware of its existence, and hopefully this gives you enough of an idea of how it works to understand what people are talking about when they say that you can option select that. Alright, the next thing I want to cover is just a quick advanced trick for some of the charge characters with Blanka. Like if you hammer punches, you get his lightning, and you can actually do different inputs. It works best, or it works with Honda and Blanka to basically get these moves to come out faster and link these things together. So the first input, and I'm actually not that great at these because I don't play these characters myself, but I figured I wanted to show them to you anyways, even if I screwed up a little bit, just so you have the idea. Is to piano, and that means you actually roll your fingers back and forth along the buttons, and you kind of like slap them all really quickly and use multiple strengths of punch to get the outcome. So what you do is just kind of hammer these out, and you can actually link it straight into your lightning. So as I said, I'm not the greatest at this. I get a few extra inputs and a little bit of mess up, but that's the idea. The other way to do it is instead of tapping all 3 punch buttons with your fingers, is you can actually just slide across the row of punch buttons using a fight stick. So this one works best. You just kind of start with your light and roll it across. And it's pretty easy to combo this one. I find the slide works really well for me, but a lot of people have to worry about blisters. So watch out and be careful, but it's a really easy way to kind of land these links. Okay, the next thing I'd like to cover is plinking and double tapping. What this is it actually kind of helps you out a little bit on your combos. These 2 input methods try to give you a little bit of an edge in getting a second input to make your combos easier to land. So that means is usually if you're trying to do a combo and you just hit 1 medium punch, that's all you get. The idea here is to take the inputs of the game and try and double them, which actually doubles your chances of correctly landing your combo. So first let's cover plinking. I know it's a little bit confusing, but just try and follow the inputs on screen and it'll make sense. So if I just push my heavy punch, I get 1 heavy punch. If I just double tap a heavy punch, it's actually too far apart for the game to recognize it. So what you can do is you can plink it by using a medium punch to kind of buffer it. The way that works is you push heavy punch and then you roll your finger to medium punch just a split second afterwards. And in doing that, you only push heavy punch 1 time, but the game actually inputs 2 heavy punches. So you see, I did a heavy punch, I only pushed 1 button, and I got 2 heavy punches that just came out. The medium punch doesn't count because the heaviest attack always overrides the lightest attack. So that's a really good way to kind of link your combos together, and you can use plinking on any combo in the game and it will make them all easier to land, and it really helps for landing those really tight links. The other method you can use is called double tapping. What double tapping does is you roll your first finger off the button and then immediately tap it with your second finger. In doing this, you actually hit the button fast enough that the game will let you input 2 of the same command. So you can use double tapping, and let's see if we can pull this off here. There. You see, I just double tapped my kick button by rolling 1 finger off then the next, and I get 2 kicks as opposed to just doing that and getting 1 kick. If you do that, you can actually use double tapping to link together, or you link your combos together easier as well, because it takes 2 inputs instead of 1. With 2 inputs, you're actually doubling your opportunity to land a proper combo. So a lot of professional players you'll see play, they'll double tap everything they do. And when you see them doing that, it's because they're trying to land their combos perfectly, and even though their timing is fantastic, no one gets it every single time. Alright, so that pretty much covers everything I was looking to explain in this video. I know there's a lot of information, so I hope I covered pretty much everything or most stuff that Street Fighter has to offer. I hope that it's a pretty good resource and tool for the folks out there, and you guys can find a lot of information and kind of up your game and keep doing well. Look forward to the next video, which is going to be a little bit different. Now that we've covered all the technical things, we can get some more into some gameplay and some actual footage and some fun. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to, and if you've got any questions, comments, or concerns, please post them wherever you find the video.